If you're just joining us, you're in luck, just about. And we're about to start the conversation. Our first guest really is no guest to us. He's our, what you call, in-house therapist, professional counselor, chartered mediator, and profound spiritotherapist and futurist, Excel Adeleye Samuel. I'm sure you're familiar with that name by now.
None of that.
Excel.
None other than Excel.
Thanks for joining us, Excel.
Thank you for having me again.
Thank you.
It's an honor,
Thank you.
privilege being
Thank
here.
you.
So in the light of recent happenings, everyone has one theory or the other on parenting. We want to ask you, Excel, is there a style to parenting? Is there a code to parenting?
Well, that's a very simple but complex question. By research, it has not been found that a particular style is what works. So there are many doors to a city, as I said. So it is then important in conscious parenting, as we're saying, for each family system to discover which one works. And when you discover that, you also need to know which one works for each child. Very critical.
Okay.
Okay. So are there styles? Are there ways? Like you know, if you went to a counseling school now, for example, like young couples, you know, and they go for counseling, are there like, this is one, this is two types of parenting?
Okay, you see,
Really?
particularly what you've been taught, it's about parenting, about family system building, about how to make your family a nation, how you groom your children, starting from how you are grooming yourself, because we replicate ourselves and all of that. However, when it now comes to individual children, it is more of customization rather than generalization. And I think that's where parents miss it most times.
Customization.
It has to be
The
customization.
style you use for one child is
Could be
that same
definitely
method
different
you
from
use?
other children.
Because
And
we're
other-
all different.
Yeah.
They're just
personalities.
different. I mean, some children, by their making, just want to learn from experience because they like to explore.
Yeah.
I, as a person, I like to act while learning.
To do what? Act.
I like to act, then learning.
Okay. Or you learn
Okay.
through acting.
You get it now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But for some children, they just want to enjoy you to teach them and talk to them.
And acting you mean by observation?
No, by observation, by even
experiencing.
doing something,
By
by
playing out.
experiencing it.
Okay.
And that's why I love to learn. You get it now? Because by nature, I'm a practical person. Even when I'm talking, I'm painting a picture.
Wow.
Yeah.
You get it? I'm a practical person. You get it now?
Okay. So somebody's talking about conscious parenting.
Yes.
What is that?
You see, conscious parenting simply means you first understanding parenting, what it is, understanding yourself, then using these two tools to help your child also to know who they are, to direct them the path they should go, and getting the result that both of you desire. Now, it's a two-way thing now.
Would it be the same thing as intention, being intention?
Yeah, that's another word for
Being
conscious.
deliberate.
You are deliberate, you are conscious and all of
You're
that.
conscious,
And then when you use this adjective, you find out there's something that is similar about it. It's hard work.
And
It
presence.
takes a lot of hard.
Hard work.
Hard work and presence.
Yes. It's like you waking up to go to your job every day. Hard work.
Okay.
Hard work.
Okay. Now, well, some of us, well, Helen, I know, belongs to the old school.
Okay.
We can't say the same.
I know you belong to young school.
We
Don't
can't
worry.
say the same.
Yours belongs to the generous on Z.
But okay, now where I'm going is this. You see, in the African context,
Yes.
you know, they always say that parenting is seen to be the responsibility of the community, and maybe not directly of.
No.
How does it work? How does that concept? How
You
does
see-
it work, or does it still work?
You see, for me, I try to take a personal observation beyond what is provided for us to use as research base. And we need to look, because one of the things also we are living in Africa is that we're not doing research about even our training. Our cultures and our values are not thoroughly researched. For example, there's no history in schools to even know. And if we begin to hear about Benin as a city, you see what history Benin has created in the world, but those things was eradicated. So the question then we should ask is this: were we groomed and behaved civiled with our culture and our tradition? Yes. Were there many errors or what could have been done better? Yes. Including what we're embracing now, we can see the errors. So it is my submission that they said the community builds the children as you grow up. It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, my mother just have to say, stay at home, and then I stepped out. It takes somebody around to say, iya lagbajagba, like we say. I actually saw your son on the
somewhere.
road. Then you know you are done. So if you want to commit your crime, you go very far. I know that. So I think our cultures and the community bring value and some level of sanity. And that's what they do. Values and morals.
So
But
when you
those
talk,
things are being erased.
No, they are being totally.
because when you talk community, you're not talking Lagos, you're not talking Port Harcourt,
No,
you're not talking
no,
Jos, you're
yes.
not talking Abuja.
Exactly.
Because nobody can come from the next yard, if I want to use that word, and say, Lagbaja, your child.
Yes, you know
would
what?
be like,
you know
can
what?
you mind your
you know what
business?
you just brought out there. What it means that what we had then was extended family. Though they are not your blood relative, but they are your
Well, there was
family.
a
So that when
connection.
you grow up, you don't say that guy was my neighbor. You say my brother.
Yeah.
So when you're talking to other people, you say that is my
So there
brother
was a
now.
network.
There was
a
that
connection.
strong bond.
Connection, that's a word.
However, there was also errors.
Along the way, of course.
I mean, and that's life generally.
Yeah, of course, yes.
So I think is my submission. How do we correct that? Now embracing the relevant parenting skills also. That is now, for example, there was no IT. There was no social media. How do we incorporate that also into the parenting that we do now? I think that's the missing link, because our children now are very far from us. Like saying you are going to America and somebody is in Oshodi somewhere. The distance is very wide, and parents are not admitted to that reality.
True. Okay, Excel, last week we were about molestation, you know, brutality in marriages and all of that.
Yeah.
And one of the things that stared us in the face was the fact that you could see them. There were some red flags. There were signs that this would happen, even from courtship days, if there was courtship. Now, are there visible signs, for example, for a failure in child parenting? And if there are, what are they?
You see, this particular question you say to me is what gets me more emotional. And when I have opportunity to address large gathering of parents, I first tell them, please don't be angry with me, because I will come at you. You feel insulted, feel downgraded, but please just accept me for this time. And this is about to say, as I think about the crisis that has been lingering on social media, I did a post on my status and I asked, in the last 6 months, have you read one book on parenting or attended 2 training, offline or online, on parenting? And every time I ask these questions, most parents says no. Now, how do you intend to get sweet results from what you don't invest in? That is armed robbery. If you do that.
From what you don't invest in.
Yes, that's armed robbery.
That's fraud.
That's fraud. So we are doing parental fraud.
Wow.
So to expect that a child will be civil, we know how to control the social media content without you investing, you should be flogged as a parent. You get it now? So the signs is, number one, lack of education. We rather invest in taking them abroad. We rather invest in paying high school premium, and we have not paid 150,000 naira, not what we $1,000
To
just put something
Invest
in
in
you
you.
to update yourself. So we rather buy some designer clothes and make them some hair, or put an iPhone. We are putting machine gun in their hand to use first to kill themselves, have to kill everybody. So what you see in the social media, what you see happen right now, is they're shooting not just themselves, other children, and I mean, some family image has been destroyed, their name has been tarnished based on what is happening. And it's hard to correct back.
that is really
So
profound.
we are deceiving ourselves, and our children look at our eyes, and some of them really are causing us for themselves. And so sometimes see how we need to negotiate discipline or constructive corrections and all of that. And many years ago, when in Grading, where we did some little survey with some children, and I remember in that boarding house, one of the big boarding house in this country, and I was having a discussion with them. And one of those, so I did really like a conference, discussion. And one of the things all of them said is this, very common. They said, we know that our parents put us here so they can have time to do other things.
Yeah.
That's very deep.
So children know that we are doing outsourcing parenting because we don't take responsibility.
Hey, but you see,
so then I ask,
life has changed.
No, when from 1 year.
Yeah, so
2 years,
I ask,
is,
how can you be irresponsible as a parent, expecting your children to be responsible?
True.
Not at all. So children are aware. The children you correct even in a hard way knows that he loves me and he wants the best out of my life. But the one you let be also knows that even this guy don't know Jack himself. And they look. And this is my concern, like I say to parents. A time will come when you are very old, and that child will determine what you eat and what you do.
Yes.
It will be the quality of that child mind that will determine how you live those years to go. So what is the quality of the mind? Those who are not emotionally strong or assertive, those who don't know how to say no or yes, those who can't think correctly, those who already has been battered,
those who don't have
by
affection.
things that other the one. These are obvious signs, and I'm not sure what is happening. I'm also so surprised that everybody is surprised to see that this has also been in existence for years. If we take good observation, this has always been in existence. So what are we surprised about? And the reality, I ask everybody who wants to make a comment: are they not also abused? Are they talking about it? Were they also not molested?
Yeah, grow.
Who is talking about all of that? And I mean, I put up yesterday, I asked a question: were you molested as a boy child? And a guy by senior aunties, and a guy said yes, it was one of the aunties that initiated me to sex and all of that. So, and guess what? Your child just needs to go on online to ask the questions.
Yeah. And
Why should I sustain my virginity? There are a lot of options why you should not. You just have to. How does it feel as a girl to first time sex as a virgin? There are a lot of options online to tell you how it is and how it can be done smoothly.
That if you don't know, that is the conversation has not already taken place between you and your mother.
And we can see that social media can't actually be controlled, though there are other means technically that has been proven you can use to control your child. But largely, if the age bracket expected minimum is 13, the question I then ask is this: are they 10 years old joining? Yes, because you can't verify age. Secondly, two, are they now content by 21, 22, procreative enough to initiate a child? Yes, obviously. So me and a child sit down to watch same thing. And as an adult, even there's something I can't control. How much more my child?
So, clearly, the role of parenting is quite a handful.
Correct, sir.
And it's difficult for a couple, that's two people, the husband and the wife. It's difficult enough for them, to
in today's,
manage. Now, a lot of people have now blamed single parenthood on the lapses that we see in the grooming of children. Is that fair? Because we have
more now than
more single parenthood happening now than in the past.
You see, sir, the question also is tricky, and we have to look like deeper from research and for the obvious. The question we should ask is that how come people become single parents first? It gives us deeper answer, because when we just take it from the basic of what we see, it doesn't give us understanding to go to the roots and really solve the problem. Because we have a community or we have a society where it talks about the problem more now, not necessarily delegate or take up the solution and also go out. Because I mean, I'm in so many groups and they talk about this, but I see that people don't really come out with constructive solution and let us together find how to act on the solution now, because we are afraid of what is going to happen next 30 years.
But a single parenthood,
that is where I'm going. Now, it is true and not true. Research has proven that most boys who end up as criminal, end up whatever in the society, girls are prostitute, are either children from broken home, or children who had absentee father in their life, or children who grew up also, though they are from nuclear family, but a poorly behaved family.
Is that proven?
No, proven. Research proven.
It's recorded.
Research proven. Research proven. Okay. And they do that in prisons. Is what you can Google.
Okay.
You get it now. Or this way in prisons. Okay. Now, does single parenting now the yardstick to grow more bad children? Not true. A lot of people have been proving who are single parents that has dish out people of this world. Obama is one of them. You could mention this Sojourn, who is now a Republican Party guy. Lots of them. And we have a lot of in the society here. It is not true. Because let me say, even what we practice in Africa, we have doctored single parenting. Let me explain what that means. Is that we have parents that the father is at home or comes home, but is not involved in parenting of that child. That woman is a single parent, disguising as a married woman. That's even more.
That's even more.
That is more in our society as an African, because we believe that it's your choice of which we tell you and your children. Who are your children? It's single parenting. You get it now? You know, it's just packaged. So, but it's not true. However, by research and by obvious fact, it is hard also for one person to parent a child. Not even the man or the woman. Yeah. It's a hard one. If the woman is one who is disciplined, where is the one-to-one balance? That's what I advise. As we take more cases in divorce now, you have to involve someone or another party to help also out when it's needed. You get it now? It is very critical. So that's why we advise as a single mother, please don't marry your children. What does that mean? A lot of single parents just wake up and say, you know, I'll just face only with my child. If you need to find love, you show them how to go and love. If you need to do it, let them see you being happy, man. And that is key. As a matter of fact, I have discovered this in my work, that most children who grew up from divorcee home, probably those who grew up, at least for single mother, wish that their parents found love again. As a matter of fact, most of them are also not happy that their parents didn't have a balanced life. It just focused on them. It didn't also find happiness and love for themselves.
Okay.
So there must be balance.
You threw in something now that we haven't really taken into consideration, as we ought to, the important aspect of social media. Yes. And the effects that they have, and the need for us to, you know, be conscious of it and also move with the times. I'm talking about parenting. How much of it how much of social media, how do we control, you know, our children when it comes to social media? Because for as young as they are, it is the phones. Yeah. 24/7. Whether you haven't bought for them. I read yesterday when someone was saying, don't give a phone to any of your child until they are in university. But I know lots of children at this point in time in secondary schools who have, you know, phones, and they are open to all of the content on social media. What can we do?
Well, as a practitioner, this is my submission in that regard. The message by an authority in the religious sector when they say that don't give phone to a child until they're 18 is also debatable, as much as he has a proven result. Then we also don't neglect proven result. And I did easily. I did a quick questioning with my daughter. If she's watching now, she can hear this. And I played that same message to her. She's not up to 18. She'll be 17. Then I said to her, what is your take about what this guy said? He said, it's actually true to a level. Then I said, what do you mean? Because sometimes you just need it for your education and all of that. Then I did a questioning of her. Tell me, have you used it well also? And I make reference to 3 incidents. Okay. Then he said, it's true. So what do we then do? Because sometimes you're also making a very big decision like that, coupled with what is happening, you know, also to carry them along. Yeah. Very critical, because they also will need to replicate also your training and all of that. So sometimes we need, my submission is this, you need to give your children what they can handle, not what they can handle. So it's likely that a 14 years old, as you can see right now, is already creating app, global app, that is used for everybody. at 14. Go to India, go to China, you see most of these apps are created by young ones.
Yeah.
We see young people already developing things. Do we now say we will now limit the ability to create most of those things? No. That's why we need to now create curriculum and courses on social media, both the use and preventive use of it. First, the parents need to educate themselves. I will give you an instance. There was a circulation of a picture of the young lady.
We'll have to
mentioned.
do that quickly.
Yes, and the circulation says that she's using social media. Guess what? Most parents don't know the particular social media she's using.
True.
It's not Twitter, it's not TikTok, it's none of that. Most parents are not aware of that. So parents need to not go very far. And the way to connect to children is to come to their level. If you're on social media, you're aware of all those things, you're asking them questions, they feel, yes, this. A very story somebody shared in a group, they said they were in university and they went to this friend's uncle place. I know what he did. The uncle gave the lady a condom in case you want to have sex. And he said they were all shocked because that should not even happen. But he said this is what happened. That uncle connected them together such that they can have any kind of conversation with that uncle. We need to communicate to our children, even how we were molested or we molested people. We need to have that conversation.
Okay.
We need to do all of that, and that's way to connect because there need to also be truth.
Because that's the key word, connectivity.
Connectivity.
You know, connecting at all points. But then, this young girl and the boys, you know, trending now, they connected.
Yes,
the
that's
wrong
true.
way.
Yes, that's true. Everybody wants to connection. We need to be there. Yes, children will do things we don't know, but at least you should know them. They should know you. We need to be transparent enough. We need to come to their level. We need to accept we don't know a lot of things. You get it now, and they need to also know. They're also asking questions about God that we can't even answer. They're asking real questions about most of this thing coming up, and we don't have answers. So parents need to educate themselves,
So
and
you
we
have the
need
answers.
to be at par.
Yeah.
You can be 60, but you can also be 30 in your behavior and what is upstairs here.
Excel, the task at hand is
Enormous.
Enormous, yes.
Humongous.
Yes, sir.
We will wrap up this session
Yes.
for now. Of course, we can't exhaustively.
Exactly.
But there's something I want to drop. Content. The issue of content. It looks like we don't know that it is even illegal for us, either as parents or as individuals, or to share pornography, child pornography, on social media. And I think that message has to be driven home. So could you help us drive that message home as we close this session today?
You see, when you share a porn of a child, you have actually extended the act to go on. For example, if the news of this child was not shared in the wrong way as it was shared, will have curtailed the matter, it will be properly dealt with. You get it now? Unfortunate thing is that we don't even know a lot of things. We don't even know it's wrong. Our law needs to be more firm in this matter. The social media content or influencer needs to be cautioned.
Need to even be
They need to-
informed.
See, we and because they know that for every news I bring out, it's going to bring more followers. So there's greed, high greed. I mean, somebody posted and someone in a particular group posted the guest picture on the status and wants to talk about the girl child, the way she's dressed.
And bad news
and
is
another
news.
person who is the counselor has to address, please, it's wrong for you to just escalate this particular girl child. Guess what? The so-called minister in court was angry and came at her, insulted that this person I know. And
Okay, so
insulted.
it is wrong.
It is wrong.
It is
because
very wrong.
What is your intention? And even when you note intention, have you vet your intention?
Yeah.
We are causing more harms, even to the family, to that child.
And to more children out there.
That child can't take the picture back. But child may need to be corrected and become more influential. As much as she has opportunity to become a governor, she has able to become a great influencer. So what do we do now?
Okay. All right. Excel is always a mind-blowing time with you.
Thank you so
And parenting, indeed, like you say, we observe is a daunting task, which requires consciousness, requires patience, a lot of wisdom, a lot of connection, and passion, because the children are our future. We are building the future. And probably we haven't done a good job at it. That's why we are where we are. Thank you again for coming today.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Sir.
All right, it's Today with John and Helen. That's our first segment of this discussion. We will take a quick break, and when we return, we'll be talking about teaching our children on their bodies or about their bodies and sexuality. Very important. So please stay with us, parents, stay with us, young boys and young girls out there. There's a lot for all of us to learn. See you again.